Here's a speed lesson in interactive design of three of the most important things I can teach you. I think it's important to learn to do the visual work, the thoughtful work, the arrangement and composition of words and structure in thoughtful ways. Things like information architecture, app flows, and wireframing. Super important work. And I think these three things supersede that, though. So, radical acceptance, the five audiences, and thoughtful doing. Here we go. So, the five audiences I taught in a recent video, and that is going to be your business, your team, the audience, the end users, the world around you, and you. So, five audiences to keep in mind when you're making something that get you to think in a broader perspective and a more flexible way. And so you can do that kind of creative lateral thinking to then just have a more, I don't know, a rigorous, caring understanding of what you're trying to make, right? And then who it's for and how you can bring it about. Which will lead me to this, then your thoughtful doing. Well, let's say you have a vision for an app that is, I don't know, it's going to be sending invitations through a specialized email client that you can think, well, what do how do I know this is the right project to work on? Well, thoughtful doing means I can examine it. Is it feasible to do this? Can I build it? Um, is there need in the world? What evidence have I seen in myself and others that this is something that people will want and use? It's desirable, and then it's viable. It's like I can afford to build it, and then when it's built, it will have like a fair, a reasonable return on that work, right? So I can have a trade with it and earn money. So can I do it? Is it wanted? Can I make money? And can I afford to make it, right? And not all projects will make it through that. And so you can thoughtfully do the next thing that comes up. Anyway, thoughtful doing, five audiences, and then radical acceptance. This permeates everything in my practice, and I don't know if it's it's me as a quirky individual. Different things like sometimes facing perfectionism or negative self-talk once in a while or whatnot, where it's like I'm trying to learn a thing or do better and I'm coming up short. I need to make space for my own feelings and thoughts. I need to radically accept. I need to make space for myself as a being involved in this endeavor, right? But then, why? Well, of course, hopefully, because I can do that for myself, I can do that for others, and I will encounter situations, even if I'm making a product on my own. This is useful because you're going to meet other people at some point, right? You're going to have the audience that you're serving. You may have I don't know, shipping, delivery partners, venues and platforms that you publish digital things through. You're going to have to meet these people and places where they are, right? And then use that to say, well, what do I want to do next? So if I find something that's not harmonious, I need to take a moment and be with that, see it, understand that there's the thing and then there's my reaction, and we can have a space for all of this, and still possibly find a way to continue on. And I've found certainly when you work with groups, you're going to work in companies of different shapes and sizes, whether it's not for profit or whether it's for profit endeavors, and even that in different industries, they can have very different feels and cultures that you'll encounter stuff like certain rhetoric that this is you'll see someone disengage with an idea with just a blanket statement, as opposed to saying, well, how could we dig in and work thoughtfully to sort of include the pieces that might work to make the change, the better, the app, the service, whatever it is you're talking about making, right? Radical acceptance is saying, well, there's a reason that person is, maybe they're not feeling safe, or they're feeling, their power is threatened. That happens a lot when you work in large organizations because of our common culture, and that doesn't vilify individuals that are in that position. It's saying that, well, it's just saying it is, and then What do we want to do about it next? Another thing about radical acceptance is principles, purpose. There are boundaries, there are situations, there are things that you may meet in the moment, and then what next may not mean, and now we all stay in the room with whatever was just shared. It may mean that is not meant for this place, and that's upholding boundaries, that's upholding purpose, and that's working in a principled manner. So you can say, like, what is in bounds, what's out of bounds, what's fair and unfair, and what do we want to see more of in the world, and what are we trying to avoid, how do we want to bring more benefit and cause less harm, and all that, right? That should be embodied in your principles and in your purpose, and saying, well, whatever happened in the room, if someone is saying, well, this is not this is not a software company. This is something I've encountered a lot. Almost every company is a software company. Side note. We all deal with this. It's like not every company is. We express because software is communication, right? This is a part of the modern world and how we interact with one another. When we meet those moments where someone says, well, we can't do this thing because it benefits the users too much, and then they may just go away or something. We want to make the product more, plan for obsolescence. We want to cheat the measure of, some compliance thing or whatever it is. You can say, wait a minute, like, I hear you, this thing that you're sharing and, acknowledging it, and whatever it is, it exists, right? But that doesn't mean it has to stay. And that's where principles and purpose fit. And yeah, businesses and all organizations are built to sort of, bring benefit to certain groups. And, well, it's not without limit. It's not without purpose, though. So you can always come back to, why does this business exist? Why does this organization do what it does? And come up with that, so you can make sure that you can facilitate your way through to make, to decide what is going to be thoughtfully made next, and including your 5 audiences. And all of this can infuse the stuff you make, like your information architectures, your wireframes, the research that you plan and do to inform and make better choices, and make meaningful products and all that. This is the core, right? And I'll do more teaching of it. But if this is the only video you ever see from me, take this and run. Use it.